Hello everyone, it's Kari from sunshineinmypocket.com and today I have a really fun project for you, creating a whole bunch of Easter backgrounds for cards using the gel press. So I just wanted to show you some really fun ways to use this. If you're a card maker or if you like to create backgrounds, this is going to be really fun. So I have a gel press here. This is size 5x7 and I'm just placing it here on my glass mat. There you can see me in the reflection there. And it reminds me why I don't like to use this glass mat for videos, but today I'm using it because it is keeping my gel press in place. So we're just going to jump right in here, and I'm starting out with some Eastery kind of colors. This is Spun Sugar, Kitsch Flamingo, and Festive Berries, and these are oxide inks, and I found that the oxide inks work really well with this because they don't dry so fast, so they give you plenty of time to work with them. Now I'm using my very old brayer. It's got some dings and nicks in it, and so it is creating a few really interesting lines in my gel press, but we're just going to run with it because gel press is never perfect anyway. I'm using my very favorite technique, which is to use a background stamp, place it right on top of the ink, and then place some cardstock right on top, press it down, and pull that up. And look at the beautiful results we get. Now, there is still plenty of ink on my brayer, so I'm just going to go right over that again. And also, I'm going to take that stamp that we pulled the ink up first, and I'm going to stamp on a piece of cardstock with that, because why not? We're going to get lots of backgrounds, and look at that beautiful Eastery background. It's nice and light. It's kind of hard to tell with my video lights here, but they are beautiful pastel backgrounds, and unlike any backgrounds you can get any other way. To clean my gel press, I'm just taking a blank piece of computer paper and pulling all that ink up, and now I'm ready to go in with some different colors. So I'm going to take some Twisted Citron, tumbled glass, and I think this one is peacock feathers, and then I'll brayer those together. You usually want to start with your lightest color and brayer down to the darkest color. And now I'm going to take a stencil, which is another one of my favorite techniques, and look at how beautiful this one turned out. This is from Maker Forte, designed by Jess Francisco, and watch this. I'm just going to press this down with my fingers, try to keep that paper in place there while I press it down, and then pull that up, and look at this beautiful effect that we get. It's so pretty, but wait a minute. Pull that stencil up and put that aside, and now you can do another pull using the same gel press here. I didn't do anything. I didn't add any more ink, and I'm going to pull that up, and look at that. You get a ghosted impression. I really wish you could see this better. My lights are so bright when I do videos, and so sometimes it is hard to see, but believe me when I tell you, you're going to love these backgrounds when you try them for yourself. I hope you're going to try these for yourself anyway. Now I'm going to use those same colors and use a dotted background. Press that down. Now I'm using cardstock that is thicker. This is 110-pound weight, I believe. And it's not my nice cardstock. It's not my Nina. It's the cheaper cardstock, like the kind you get from Michael's. So that's what I'm using here because I'm creating lots of backgrounds. I'm not doing any ink blending where I need a really smooth surface. So you can use that, any cardstock you want. Just cleaning that now with another piece of computer paper. Now we're ready to go in with another beautiful ink blend here. I'm going to use a green, a blue, and a purple this time. So this is going to be also very Eastery. I love how these turn out. Now you can use any color combinations you want. These are just the colors I thought were kind of Eastery. And so now I've got this beautiful stencil and this beautiful background stamp. This is going to press right through the stencil, pull the stamp up, but leave the stencil in place. And then do a pull right there and watch the magic as you do this double technique here on the gel press. Can you see this? You get the beautiful stamp in between those lines of the stencil. It's so pretty. And you can also take that stencil off and take another pull right from the gel press and get a lighter ghosted impression with the same design. So here we go, just pressing that down, and I'll pull that up and look at this. Same design, very light. It's ghosted, so you really can't see it very well in the video, but in real life, it is pretty cool. I really don't know another way that you could get these results. Once you get started with the gel press, it's pretty addicting. I couldn't stop, actually, truthfully. So I spent maybe an hour, 45 minutes to an hour making all these backgrounds, and I got plenty of backgrounds to make, I don't know, probably 20 cards or so. It was pretty quick and pretty fun. And I wanted to mention that I do clean off the brayer in between changing the colors so that I make sure I don't get a muddy look. Here I'm just going to do a couple of blues and do a pull there. There is a little bit of lines still from that stencil. That's kind of a cool look as well. Now I'm going to do some pinks and oranges. And this is also a beautiful Eastery color combination. I've got scattered straw, dried marigold, and I think the first one was kitsch flamingo, if I'm remembering correctly. And now I'm going to put that background stamp, the first one that I used, because this ended up being my favorite stamp to use for this technique. I think these turned out really, really beautiful. So I'm doing that again in this color combination so I get a variety to work with here. And there you go. That one's a lot lighter. So I like adding a little more pink in. It's hard to see the orange and the yellow on video. In real life, it's nice and soft and pastel. Perfect for Easter. I'm going to do a couple more pulls here with the same color combination and get some really soft color. For this one, I'm going to go in with some darker colors. I'm hoping that you'll be able to see this a little bit better on the video. Here's some green. I think this is Shabby Shutters. And then I'll put down some turquoise. No. That's Lucky Clover. And then we'll do some blue here. This is a darker blue. I believe it's Faded Jeans. I'm starting again blending on the light color and moving on into the dark color. And here's where I learned a very valuable lesson. Now this stamp has some really big open spots, and you can see I pressed down a little hard and those open spots pulled up some of the ink. So when I make this pull here, it's not as beautiful because we've got a lot of white splotches where that stamp pulled up the color. So I'm going to try this one more time. This was a very valuable lesson. I'm not one to give up, so I went ahead and cleaned off that stamp, used the brayer to add some more color. I didn't add any extra color, just what was on the brayer. And now I'll go ahead and put that stamp on, and I'm not pushing as hard this time, but I still did get a little bit of ink pulled on that one Easter lily. So you can see there's a little bit, but it is still pretty. I found one thing with the gel press is you don't have a lot of control over how they work out, and so it's fun to just kind of go with it, let your imagination run wild. Here I tried another flower stamp that had more lines, not so much open space, so that I could see if that one would work better, and it did work a little bit better. So there you go. All right, so here's a look at all of the backgrounds we've created so far. There's the flowers, the Easter lilies. I had an idea to stamp over that with maybe some word stamps. I think that would be really pretty. Here's the light pastel ones with a little bit of design. There's my favorite one. That's with the stencils, and this was directly from the stamp. And there's the one where we did the stamp and the stencil and got a couple of pulls. And there's the polka dot one. So look at all of those. Now I'm going to pull some of these into cards for you so you can see how they look when you use them as backgrounds. I'm going to create some really simple Eastery cards today, and this is going to be really fun. So I decided to use that beautiful He Is Risen stamp set. Most of these stamps today are from Maker Forte, and they are beautiful. And I thought that's all this one really needed. So I'm stamping the He Is Risen on that one, and I'll turn that into a card at the end. So when I first started gel press was back in 2018, I believe, at Creativation, and I learned a lot of really fun techniques with paints. And when I learned you could use them with Distress Oxides, I just wanted to play and play and play. It is really fun for card makers to use oxides to do this. And so I'll be sharing a few other videos, but also some using with paints. So I hope that I inspire you to try out some gel press techniques, especially these ones. These are super simple, easy. Anyone could do them, even if you're a beginner. They are so much fun. So you can see I'm just stamping some images on those backgrounds. These backgrounds mainly have designs and different lines and qualities to them where you don't need a lot for these stamps or for these cards to pull them together. I'm going to take this little gnome here and stamp it on that stencil that we also put the stamp over. And I've got a sentiment here that says, I hope you have an excellent day. This gnome has an egg. So I thought that was kind of funny. I'm also going to stamp that gnome on some regular white paper so I can color him up and cut out a portion of that stamp and pop it up on the top. So you'll see that at the end. So stay tuned. Here is the really beautiful pink background. And this one was kind of a long sentiment, so I am considering here cutting this. You can see me talking to myself saying, should I do it? Should I not do it? What am I going to do? In the end, I decided to go ahead and cut it. I was very careful though. So I didn't cut those words, but you can still put that stamp back together the way it was originally intended if you want to. But for this one, I thought it looked better in a double line. So I'm going to go ahead and stamp that one up. This little chick is so adorable. It says, you're one of my favorite peeps. Really cute. Now here is a really fun stamp set. This is brand new from Maker Forte, and this is a layering butterfly. So you stamp the bottom, and I did that with a turquoise color, and then I stamped over it with the top layer using more of a navy blue. And then you can stamp the body in a different color and also the layer. I chose to do yellow on the bottom layer here, the solid, and then I'll go in with the outline in orange. So you'll be able to see it just a little bit better. But this is such a fun set to layer up, and I really did love it. So here we go. Here's the top layer, the lined layer of the body. So I'm going to go ahead and do that in an orange. There you go. And then I decided to go ahead and twist that sentiment or kind of curve the sentiment to follow the line of the butterfly. And it says Happy Spring. So I tested it out there on my Stamp-A-Majig acrylic piece. I don't know if that's really an acrylic piece, but you know what I'm talking about. And then I was able to stamp it right on the card. So for this one, I am going to go ahead and color it up with a few Prismacolor pencils. And then I'm going to add some detail using some Nuvo drops and also some Perfect Pearls drops. Do you remember those? Perfect Pearls? I have a lot of colors of those, so I still use them and I still love them. Here's the one where I colored the gnome, and I'm going to just cut out that middle section there and add it to the top with a pop dot or two. And here are some of the new papers that Maker Forte have come out with. They are beautiful, lavender, mint, and bubblegum. And I thought they were perfect for some of these cards, so I cut down some matte frames for these. And this gnome one, I'm going to go ahead and pop up on the lavender cardstock. So that's going to be the frame for that one. For this Happy Easter, I added a few gemstones, and I'm going to use the bubblegum cardstock. Put that together into a card there. That one is a little bit thinner of a matte. And then this one with the polka dots, I thought the mint was perfect for that. So that's going right over the top there. So here's a look at all the cards that we made today, the backgrounds, and then I just added some simple embellishments, but look at how pretty. There's a lot of variation in these cards, which I think is one of the charms of the gel press as well. I added some gems to this butterfly. This one is called Vegas Strip. Such a pretty, pretty blue. And then for the head of the butterfly, I used one that's called Phoenix, and I am from Phoenix, so of course I had to have these. These are brand new from Maker Forte, and I love them. So that's how we finished off that one. Here's the gnome that I added some Nuvo drops and some of the liquid pearls. Super cute, and colored that up with Prismacolor pencils. This one, the Peeps, I just colored up his little bow tie and then added some yellow dots to the egg up there. So fun, and that background is really, really beautiful. This one is a soft pink, orange, and yellow, and I just stamped on this one. Nothing extra, but the background really does most of the heavy lifting here. So you can make a really lot of Easter cards in a really short amount of time. Here's the He is Risen. I love that stamp on top of the Easter lilies. So pretty. And I think I could add some embellishments to that also. This is the polka dot one with gems, and I added a blue, a green, and a yellow gem, and then a little dot of liquid pearls to his little rosy cheeks there. Matted that with the mint. And then this one is also that Happy Easter stamp. Isn't that a cute stamp? And look at this background. All you need is an interesting background. Stamp that stamp, add a few gems, you're done. So this was super simple, but really pretty. And the last one is that double one that we did. And see how I popped up that gnome there with some foam tape on top? And so I only colored just that center part. I let the rest of the background do the coloring for me. And look at that lavender paper. It really goes really great with this one. So I hope you enjoyed this video today. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. That really does help with YouTube. And look at all these background panels we still have. And I have lots more cards to make, it looks like. Some really great backgrounds. And I think I'm going to just keep going. You can still add layers and layers on these pulls. You can add even more. So if you don't like it, don't throw it out. Just keep trying and add some more layers. There's a look at all our cards, and I'm just going to go through them real quick with you. The soft pastel background with pinks and oranges and yellows. There's the ghosted polka dots. I really like that one. Here's my favorite with that background stamp. It turned out so soft and sweet. And here's our butterfly with a really interesting background. This one is the ghosted of that stamp. And there's the double one with the little gnome popped up. Super cute. He is Risen. Such a beautiful stamp. And there's the one where we added some embellishments with the Nuvo drops and the liquid pearls. So there you have it. A quick and easy Easter gel press card making marathon. And actually it wasn't really a marathon. I think I finished all these cards in probably about an hour and a half, which is really great for 9 cards, for me anyway. So I am so grateful you stopped by. Thank you so much. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.